First time I was in Taiwan is in 1988. That was the time when I took a flight from Hong Kong to Tokyo. So I stopped over in Taipei for a couple of days. I think it's about a week. That was the time where Taipei tried to build a subway. And just because of building that subway, a lot of route is blocked. So when I took a taxi from Taipei City to the airport, just because of that construction, the whole thing stopped. I was stuck in the traffic. So it ended up saying when I get to the airport, it's an hour after the flight took off. Luckily, the flight was delayed for 2 or 3 hours. That's why I managed to catch up. So my first experience with Taiwan is not so good because all these mess, they are on a construction, on building a lot of stuff. After 2011 until now, I go to Taiwan a lot more. So I normally spend a couple of months in Taiwan. I spend a lot of time in Taiwan mainly because Taiwan has very close culture. I feel more connected to Taiwan because of the culture, because of the food, because of the behaving, because of the value. For the past almost 10 years, when I'm in Taiwan, I spend most of the time in Taipei. I spend most of my time in Taipei, and I like Taipei because it's a clean city, because it's a big city. So I kind of like big city because it's easy for me to do a lot of things, to see a lot of things, the culture-wise, the people. Taipei is also a very wide city, very wide. You find a lot of freedom, people are very free, people basically can do almost everything they want, which is a lot of time is taboo in another country. I also spent some time in Kaohsiung. Kaohsiung is the southern part of Taiwan Island. The weather is much more closer to Southeast Asia, which I don't like because it's a little bit warm for me. I don't like Southeast Asia, one of the reasons because it's a little bit too warm. But because it's warm, so Kaohsiung people also very warm. Of course, compared to Taipei, Taipei is much more a big city, much more things happen. If you want to see things happen, you have to go to Taipei, but you want to see some more country, more gentle life, you have to go to out of Taipei. So like Kaohsiung is one of the very good places. I spent some time also in the middle part, the mountain area of Taiwan, especially Sun Moon Lake. I like it because the weather is colder and very countryside. People are more peaceful, lot of nature, lot of mountain, not so much water. Yeah, there's a lot of water by the lake, but out of the lake, you see a lot of mountain. I like water more than a mountain. So for this Sun Moon Lake, I enjoyed it very much. So next trip, if I go to Taiwan, I would like to stay in this place for a little while. Very peaceful. I did field trip to travel on the East Coast. So I will stop in a lot of these small towns like Hualien, like Taitung, and also some small village. I like the sea. I like the facing this huge Pacific Sea, huge, and you see all these huge wave, huge wind. People are nice. Yeah, I kind of like it. I would say the most beautiful part of Taiwan is the East Coast. On the East Coast, the nature side. Why I keep on going back to Taiwan? First is because of the people. So there's a saying that the most valuable thing in Taiwan is the people. Generally, Taiwanese people are quite gentle, quite polite. They don't get angry easily. Did I see any fight in Taiwan? No, not as I can remember. But I remember a few occasions that touched me a lot. Is one time I went by a shop and I saw this something nice. I didn't buy anything. I just standing outside of the shop and look inside to the shop. I just came back from the market, so I have a lot of things on my head. So the shop owner came out and saw me with all this bag on my hand. So he said, wait. He went into her shop and take a much bigger bag so that I can put all my small bag inside that bigger bag and hand it to me. I was so touched because did I ever met thing like that in Asia? Yeah, I did encounter 2 or 3 times in Japan. But that occasion touched me. It showed that people care about other people. So it touched me a lot. People are generally quite nice. Even right now when China and Taiwan have so much conflict with each other. I used to go to this hot spring in Taipei. So a lot of these mainland China individual traveler, free traveler, they will go to this hot spring. But I find that Taiwanese, even knowing that they are from China, they talk to them very nicely, very politely, a very good conversation. I don't feel the conflict that we keep on hearing about. So Taiwanese are one of the most polite people I will ever see in my life. Taiwanese have to be proud of this. I think the Taiwanese government have done very good job in protecting the environment. Even in Taipei, such a huge city, you see a lot of green, especially because I stay not in the city. I normally stay in Beitou, stay in Danshui, this area. They have cleaned up the river very well. I still remember there was in 80 or 90 when I was in Taiwan, this river, this Danshui river, it's very smelly. But now it turned out to be very clean, no rubbish, no plastic bag. It touched me. That means that the government did a very good job in doing that. Not only in Taipei, in Kaohsiung too. Kaohsiung did become a very clean city. As a foreigner, as a traveler, as a tourist, we appreciate that very much. We really see how good it's functioning as a government. I think Taiwanese people also have to be proud of this. We didn't get this in Southeast Asia, which our government, Southeast Asia government, should be able to do much better than the job what they have done right now, but it's not. What I like one of the most in Taiwan is hot spring. You have a lot of hot spring. Yeah, Japan have that too. I like hot spring because especially in cold weather, you dip yourself in the hot spring, and that feels very good. And also doing hot spring is not expensive in Taiwan. Really not expensive. It's in fact considered quite cheap. That's also the reason why when I stay in Taipei, I always stay in Beitou or Danshui because these 2 areas is very close to the hot spring, especially in Beitou. Whole Beitou is hot spring. Yangming San, the mountain Yangming, is full of hot spring and not expensive. Cycling in Taiwan. Taiwan have very good cycling tracks. I mean, the traffic is really taking care of the cyclists. This hardly happen in Asia country, hardly. Especially in Southeast Asia. Forget about Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia is very unfriendly to cyclists. But the whole Taiwan is very friendly. I have some friends come all the way to Taiwan so that they can cycling all around Taiwan Island. And that's amazing. When I'm in Taipei, I used to take a bicycle. And it's convenient. You don't have to own a bicycle. Right now in a lot of these big cities in Taiwan, they have public bicycle or sharing bicycle. It's government's project. You can go almost a lot of places. Almost every subway station, they have this place where you can just rent a bicycle. So riding bicycle is very convenient in Taiwan, especially a big city like Taipei. Very convenient. Taiwan food is Chinese food, so it's easier for me. I don't have this culture shock for food. It's easier for me to adapt to local food. Almost every country in the world. I don't have much problem with food. As long as it's clean, I think it's okay for me. Taiwan have different kinds of food. Japanese food in Taiwan also not expensive. But Taiwan's food itself has a lot of variety. If you go to Taiwan, if you go to the city, they have a lot of these night market, which is full of food. So you go in there, you enjoy all kinds of Taiwan's food, all kinds. Street food, restaurant. I never have problems with food in Taiwan. Oh, they have one more thing, cafe. Taiwan have very good cafe. They have very good cafe culture, good coffee. So if you go to Taiwan, don't forget about that. Can peace always exist between Taiwan and mainland? Can these two places stay in peace? Honestly, I hope so. Because I like these two places a lot. I like to spend a lot of my time in these two places. For them to stay in peace is very important. Not only for me, it's not important, but for the people of these two places. They have very similar culture, they have similar language, they have similar value, they have similar in almost every view of life, except political view. I do believe that both sides should have the wisdom to settle the differences. These two places should have very close ties with each other, not only economically but also politically. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you liked the video. I hope you have the chance to visit Taiwan too. If you haven't been to Taiwan, I greatly suggest that go at least once in your life. You will like it. At least I like it a lot.